Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Dan the Glass Man, and we're over here in the GardunoGlass studios. Basically, I'm going to do a little demonstration for you. I'm going to make a tank right now and let you guys see how the tanks are made. So this is the simple versions on how to make a tank, and we'll be doing the let me see which tube I want to use here. I think we'll go with this one here, which is the 1-inch tube. So it's a little bit larger of a tube here. And I just want to make sure that we get it all cleaned up. Make sure there's no dust or anything on it, so you don't burn the dust into the surface of the glass. So just get that all nice and clean. And as you can see, I've already got it broken open. Basically what I do is every time that I make a tank, I get the tube prepared. So when I pull off an old tank, like let's say I made this one here and pulled it off of there, when I melted it, I opened it up to get it prepared. So it's already ready and prepared. Basically it's popped open and then blown out real thin, and then that bubble, it's like a paper thin, or like even like cellophane. It's really thin, and basically you just break it into the trash can. And so right now I'm fire polishing the end, which is basically just putting the tip, the edge where that broken glass was, right into the inside of the flame here, on the edge of the flame. And we use carbon graphite tools. These are perfectly rounded on the tips. They have different dimensions on each side, so I can use them for different uses and everything. And right now, this one here, I'm just gonna make sure that the hole is perfectly round. So just make sure that the end's round. And now we're going to start adding some designs to this glass. So you see I got this cobalt blue right here. We'll get this in the flame. We'll try to make this real quick so we can try to keep this under 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to melt the cobalt blue, keeping my clear glass that I'm going to work on nice and warm, and getting the cobalt blue molten. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it out. I'm basically just getting like an inch of it nice and hot. And I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to use the same glass and tank right here as a tool, basically to hold it, and then I just stretch it out. See that? And that's what I use to draw. That becomes like my pencil or my crayon, and it's just a real long stringer basically. And then it's not attached permanently because I just stuck it real quick. So I pulled that stringer off the cobalt blue, so now I got a nice thin piece to work with. So now I use the lower flame to warm it up. This is the major torch that I'm working here. It's a Nortel major. It's an old school torch. I'm old school glass blower. I've been doing this since '95. I've had this torch since about 2000, and I've been using it ever since. And I love it. Now we got to do some detail work here. I'm going to go with a kind of a simple tribal design here. So you just do a dot in the center. I'm just going to draw around the edge with the glass. Basically just melting it right on there. Following it with the flame. Trying to make this look as easy as possible. I don't really have any kind of room for mistakes. As you can see, I actually just made one as I was saying that. And I attached the blue that I just laid to the center. Everything else isn't touching. I'm going to see if I can break that off or get it away from there. I'll try to separate it and add some clear glass in between if possible. And what we'll do is, since we can't really move that, we'll just start bringing them all in a little closer and make them all just match up a little bit better. And that's a simple fix right there. So let's just make sure that the inner dimension still on this is nice and round. So we'll use another tool in here to make sure it's nice and round there. And let me show you what that looks like right there. And it's a solid cobalt pattern. So that's pretty much done. Now the trick is to bring down the tube size, and I have a specific measurement here, so I can make it match identical to the grommets that I use. So I got a paddle here that I'll use to help me out to bring it down. And what I'm doing is I'm just heating up the edge and start to slowly bring it down into itself. And I'm going to size this hole specifically into the exact size that I need it for the grommets that I use. Check that size right there. That is pretty close. And that way when you melt it down like that, it makes sure that there's no cracks. I've seen some recent pictures of some glass that was looked like it was broken and then tried to be melted back. And right there you can see just how nice and smooth that is. So, and then the trick is getting it off of the tube here without messing up the pattern work. And so we have tools here that we use to hold hot glass. This is the claw holder or a ball grabber for holding marbles. So we just put that onto the glass there, and we just try to cut it right underneath, directly underneath that tribal, so we don't pull the color and wreck the design there. So I'll just tighten up the flame a little bit, make sure I can penetrate the glass nicely without messing up the design. And it looks like we're at about 9 minutes. I need to hurry this up. So, and then I pull it. And basically this is where, let me show you. This is where I pop out that bubble. Hopefully I can get this on the video. And this is how that hole begins. Break it, make it nice and taper thin. Break it off into the trash can, and that's how you get that nice clean edge right there. And let's see if I can finish this. I just got to make a hole on this end too. Open it up for the for the grommet on this side as well, so I'm just breaking it off into the trash can underneath the table here. And I gotta nap it all the way around just to make the hole nice and even all the way around. So you can see right there, little tiny hole. Put it in a flame to open it up and flare it open. I use another carbon graphite tool here, and this basically helps to flare open the edge and get it to that right size that I need it. So as long as this thing fits in there, I know that grommet's going to fit, and I can make that a little bit smaller now. And then you also want to always use your paddles to finish up the tops to make sure they're nice and flat. So it's just all one nice clean piece of glass. So make sure that this is fitting in there just right. That looks pretty good. Might need to be a little bit smaller. Make this hole slightly smaller. Flatten the top. Make sure it's nice and straight and flat. Make sure that this fits in there. As long as this one doesn't fit, then we know it's a good size. And there you go. That's a finished tank right there by GardunoGlass, Dan the Glass Man. Visit www.cosmicglass.com. and also visit facebook.com/glassstriptips. This will be a $50 tank right there.